Okay, looking at exercise 6 on data analysis. So for this exercise, we actually have to download a CSV file. CSV stands for comma separated value. So on my website, you've got the CSV file here. So if you click on that, it should open up in a new window. Okay, so when you open it up in the new window, it just shows you a preview and you have two options. One option is to open with Google Sheets, but if that doesn't work, you can download the file. So when you actually download the file, then what you need to do is go to Google Sheets and then open that file or import it in. Okay, so how do we do that? Well, we go to Google Sheets. So if you just open up a new Google Sheet, so I'm going to just do it and bring one in here. Here it is. So you can get that from the menu usually up here. You can go to Sheets and then just create a blank sheet. So this is if you haven't been able to just click on open from Google Sheets there, if that hadn't worked for some reason. So there I've got a blank Google Sheet. I've got this J12 employees.csv downloaded. It is in your downloads folder. So what I want to do here is go to File and Import. And then I need to upload. So you can either drag the file, or if you prefer, you can look for it on your computer. So it will be in downloads. So I've got lots of things here that I've downloaded. So scroll down and I just need to find that J12 employees.csv, open, it'll upload, and then it will give you some options, which we don't need to change any of these options. Just say import data, and that's you done. So it will load up and then we can start the questions. So there it is. I've got the sheet here. What I can do is just open some of these up a little bit just so that we can see all the information a little bit easier. And if you scroll down, you can see the same here. We have it just a little bit further. That's all the information. Good. Okay, so the first question says using a suitable package. We've done that. Number 2, merge cells A1 to G1 to become a single cell. So A1, so what you need to do is click and hold with the mouse to G1, and we needed to merge those. So merge those cells. That's that done. And the next thing it says, format the cells so that it's white, 24-point serif font. Format this cell so that it has black background color and center line the contents of the cell. Okay, so serif font, what is that? Well, this font on this document is a sans serif font. So serif font is a bit more like Arial, Verdana, but a serif font is like this one, Times New Roman. Let's have another look. Courier New, that would be a serif font. So I'm just going to do Times New Roman, or I might just do Courier New. That they're serif fonts, and you can tell because it's got that these little sort of bits on the side of the letters, these little tails, some people call them, right, or little tags on the end. So if I do a different one, like Times New Roman, same thing, it's got these little tags, as you can see, right? So you just need to pick a serif font. Right, so then it said to do it centered, right? So if I go to here, I can do that centered. And it said it needed to be a black background and then white text. There we go, done. Right, so next question, that's number 2 done. Format the cells B5 to B8 as currency, B5. B5 is here to B8 as currency. So down here, pick euro. Okay, so that says in here, euro to 2 decimal places, so currency. Number 4, save the data and make a PDF of cells A3 to B20. Okay, so I'm going to select A3 to B20 down to here. Make sure all the cell information is visible, right? So it's not out of place. So I need to select those and then do download PDF documents. Okay, so it said in the question, go back to the question, it said, make sure that the contents of all the cells in the range are fully visible and that the PDF fits on a single portrait page. Okay, so it's not on a single portrait page at the minute, so I'm going to do portrait, and I need to do current sheet to selected cells, and that looks fine. The other thing I can do is headers and footers. So I want to put, say, the current date somewhere on the page. There it is at the bottom left. I can actually customize this. So how do you do it in lessons? Well, we'll do an edit customize one. So up here top right, you're usually putting the date in there. So I'll do the date there. And then at the bottom, I'm going to put by Paul McTeer. Okay, it's hard to see, it's a bit small, and then press confirm. Okay, so there it is, date, my name, and that's that done, right? So then I can just press export, and it's downloading that document. When it's downloaded, I can show there and just change the name to the name of the question. So the question is question 4. So if I just do that, entitled spreadsheet, I could call it task or exercise 06 Q4. Okay, so now that I've got that, then that's one file that's ready to send or hand in. Okay, next one we want to look at, right, will be the question 5. Use the cells A12 to B20 to create a named range JC. Okay, so these ones, A12 to B20. And we can do two options. You can right click and say define named range, or you can go to data and pick named ranges. So it was JC, so JC done. Okay, so that was question number 5. Number 6, in D24, use a lookup function to show the job description. Use the code column for the lookup value. Okay, so I'm just going to put this over on my other screen. So we've got here D24. So we're guessing that, of course, it tells us in the question that it's a lookup function. So we've got to do lookup. And remember, there's like 3 lookups. You can do a lookup, you can do a VLOOKUP, and a HLOOKUP. So the lookup usually is used, lookup by itself is usually used for sorted information that's in a sorted list. Now this is kind of sorted because it's alphabetically sorted. So you could probably use a lookup, but I tend to just use a vertical lookup because it's a vertical array column. I usually just go for that anyway. So that's what I would show you in this video. But if you want to just do a lookup, which is a little bit more simple usually, then that's fine. You can do that. So it says use the code column. So here's the code column here for the lookup value. So we do equals VLOOKUP, open the bracket. The first thing we need to do is pick the code column, comma, and then it was the array, which is JC. So I'm just going to type JC in capitals, and you see it's now selected that. Then comma, and which column do I want it to give me back? I want the second column, so I do 2, and that's it. And you can see that's that finished, and I just close the bracket, and it's done. Okay, so I need to make this a little bit bigger. And what we can notice here is that with the formula, we've got one relative cell, so A24, which is this one. JC, because it's a named range, that makes that named range absolute. So that never changes. It'll always be the same. So when we replicate this down, it'll stay the same. So if I just double click on the little blue square in the bottom right, you can see it's done that. Okay. And if you notice, if I go to trainee, see it's changed to A25. Go to the next one down, say 26. You can see there. So it's relative in the formula. It's always changing to these ones further down, which is great. Okay, so that was number 6, and then the second part of number 6 says replicate this function. So it's for all the employees. Well, we've already done that. In cell G24, so G24 over here is the next one. So, oh, sorry, not G24, in cell number 7, in cell F61. So the bottom of here, F61, calculate the total number of hours worked. Okay, so that's dead easy. Equals sum, open brackets, select all of these hours worked, close brackets, press enter. Okay, so 803. So you can see all of those cells, right? Number 8, G24 now, so that's this pay one. So I'll make this a little bit bigger. Pay. So what we got to do is calculate the pay for each employee. So you can imagine when you look at this, you can see we've got some pay rates here, but pay codes. This means that different members of staff, according to this code, get paid that amount per hour, right? So here we've got the hours worked, here we've got the pay code, and we want to get that pay. So how do we do it? Well, it says here that we will look up the rates of pay from the pay rates table and multiply it by the number of hours worked. The formula must include an absolute range, 2 relative references, and must not include a named range. So here in job description, we use this named range. So what we're going to do is exactly the same formula, but instead of the named range, we do an absolute range of these ones up here instead. Okay, so it's the exact same thing. So equals VLOOKUP, open brackets, and we want to look up the pay code. So the pay code is this one, and that's C24. And for this first one, that will stay like this. So this is a relative cell reference, C24. And then we're going to do a comma. Now we've got to pick the array. So the array is this array here. So A, B, C, D, and then these currencies. Now, the problem with this, you see it says A5 to B8. That is relative. So when we replicate this formula down, everything would change. C24 would become C25. A5 would become A6 to B9, which you can see would then mean that we would be missing the A1 and we would have an empty space and so on. So what we can do, there's a special keyboard shortcut on the computer. So if you're using Windows, a Windows machine, you press F4 on your keyboard. And if you're using a Mac, then you have to press function F4. So I'm using a Mac, so I press FN at the bottom left corner and then F4 at the top of my the top line of my keyboard, and it's now put dollar signs in on all of this. So you can see $A, $5. So that makes this cell absolute, and $B, $8. So this range will never change. So then I do a comma, and I want to say again that I want the second column to come back to me, so this one, and it even shows me the answer already for this first one, 750. So I can just close the brackets, press enter, and it's done. Now, I'll just show you when I pull down one of these, right? So from here, you can see that C24, A5 to B8, and when I do it for this one, it's now C25, A5 to B8. When I pull this down again, you can see it's a different price, 920. So that's C26, A5 to B8. So A5 to B8 is staying the same because I put these dollar signs. Now, the other way to do it is do that named range like you did for job description. But in this question, it asked us to do it with this absolute cell referencing. So it's just teaching you the different ways that you can do these things, okay? So we haven't finished the formula yet because it said here that we then need to multiply that by the numbers of hours worked. So the numbers of hours worked is here. So if I go to my formula bar, I'm just going to do multiplied by hours worked. Now that needs to say relative as well. So we've got two relative, C24, F24 are relative, and A5 to B8 is absolute. Enter, and then I pull that down or replicate it down or double click there. Now I scroll down to the bottom. Now you notice because I did a sum here, I've got some content here. It automatically assumed that this one would also need a formula, but it doesn't. So it doesn't need that one, so I delete that one there. Okay, so number 9. And number 9 says in G61, use a function to calculate the total weekly wage bill. So that's down here. Right, so that's the same as the sum. And because I'm using relative cell referencing, I can just pull that across and you can see it's just done exactly the same. So I click on it, you can see what it's doing. It's calculating all of those. So I didn't really need to write the formula again. I just pulled it across using the bottom right corner. So you can see if I pull it across again, it's giving me 0, but the formula it's replicated, but of course it's adding up nothing. There's nothing in those cells there. Okay, so you can see how powerful spreadsheets can be, where you can just easily replicate formulas. So you don't have to calculate all the stuff yourself. Okay, so the next task is to then, number 10, save the spreadsheet and create a PDF for the formula and functions used in landscape. So formula and functions, so I need to say view, show formulas, and then I need to make sure that we can see all of these. So I can see all of that one there, but I need to pull that out a wee bit maybe, and I definitely need to pull this one out further so I can see it all. Okay, so that's it, all visible, and what I need to then do is do that into landscape. So it said download the PDF, landscape, I want to fit. Now, what does it say? Save the spreadsheet, use landscape orientation, make sure the contents of all cells are fully visible and the PDF is only 1 page wide. Okay, it's 1 page wide. Fit to width. Okay, it hasn't actually changed anything, so that's fine. Now, I've already got the date and name in here, so that's perfect. Okay, so there's the whole sheet. Pretty good, and I can export. Okay, so same again as when I've exported this one. Show in Finder again, and I would just call this one, right? You can either right click on it and say rename, or you can just click on it once. You might notice you can do that as well. So I would just call that exercise. I'm doing it, exercise 06 Q10. So now I've got 2 of them done. The next one, it asks me then to hide rows 3 to 21. Okay, so hide rows 3 to 21. So select these ones, and I'm selecting this down like that on this column, and then you right click and you can say hide rows 3 to 21. Okay, so it's done that for me. And create a PDF for the spreadsheet showing the values. So I need to put this back into values. So show formulas, show values. Okay, just make sure everything's completely visible. So pull that out a wee bit. Okay, looks pretty good. I can even just pull that in if I need to. Right, requires cells fully visible and the PDF should be a single page wide. A single page wide, so it doesn't say whether it needs to be landscape or portrait, so I'll probably just go with landscape because it will fit better. Okay, so single page, make sure it fit to width, yeah, and there we go. So when it says single page wide, it doesn't mean you can't have more than 1 page, but it means that it shouldn't go over to another page to the right as such, so it can go down like that, so it fits like that. Okay, and that is question 12 then, isn't it? So downloading that, show in Finder, exercise 6 Q 12. Okay, so that's that one done. So I've got 4, 10, and 12 now. And then the last ones are hide rows 61, leave rows 3 to 21 unhidden. So I need to unhide these now. So if I go to this, and you have to basically just double click where I had two little arrows there to get this unhide again. So question 13, hide row 61, just 61. That's down here, just hide that one. So that's one row hidden. Extract only the employees with the word snowboard. So what I have to do is go to here, and I need to then do the filters, right? So I just pick these and press filter to create the filter. So question 14, extract only the employees with the word snowboard in their job description. So here's got job description, and you can see we've got snowboard instructor here. So we just want to do that one, and is there any one trainee snowboard instructor as well? So if I go to the filter, and it's filter by, is the condition, text contains, right? So contains, text contains, and then I say snowboard. So snowboard. Okay. Okay on that, and I can see I've got just these ones. Great. So snowboard. He worked for 25 or more hours. So hours worked 25 or more. So filter by value, I suppose. Or no, it's not value. By condition again, and this time I'm going to do greater than or equal to 25 or more. Okay, so 25, greater than or equal to 25. Okay, on that one, and we go 25 and 30, and that's that. And then it says create a PDF with the extract showing the values. Make sure the contents of all are on there. Okay, so that's that one done. You just have to create that last PDF, and you could name that one question 15.